Hey folks, hope you're well. I know it looks like I'm in some sort of fortune teller's boudoir or something, but I'm recording in a different position today because Claire's finally broken me. She's convinced me to let her get a fridge freezer for the kitchen. It's going to the left of where I used to record, which used to be a bookshelf. The bookshelf is now to the right of where I used to record, and because there's no space anywhere else in the kitchen now, Molly sleeps where I recorded. So unless I turf her out of her bed every time I want to record, I've basically had to negotiate a new position in the kitchen, which is here in front of the back door. So when it's night time out, you'll see that there won't be light behind, but because it's still roaring sunshine, which I mean it is nearly 8 o'clock, I'm basically in this weird see-through kind of curtain. I hope you're all well. It's been really bizarre not recording for so long. It's actually more bizarre today having done my hair slightly so that I don't look like a messy, bedraggled monster. My hair's been this frizzy mess that I've flattened down whenever someone's tried to FaceTime me at work. I hadn't been putting my camera on very much because I was just a mess, but we got a HR email saying, well, just lots of things, and then it mentioned in passing, please use your camera when you're talking to people. It creates a sense of like community, and we're all here together and this. And I thought, but no one wants to see me like that. So today I had to do my hair, and then because I'm recording, I had to brush it again. So here I am, as handsome as I'm going to get in this mess. It's been what, 2.5 weeks since I recorded. Time kind of just kept going and disappearing and frittering away. Someone messaged saying, am I recording anymore? And I was like, I am. I got the dreaded COVID at one point, I think. Like, I'm not going to say definitely. All the signs suggested it was. We had the symptoms in the house. Me, Claire and Ben had it, I think. I don't want to go into any kind of this is what it's like, I survived or whatever, but, you know, I had a very heavy cough, very sore chest, headaches. I got sore throat. I didn't have a fever particularly, but Claire did. Claire kept waking up in cold sweats. She had a constant headache for days. Ben was coughing and upset and sort of fevery. And every night before bed, he'd get a big fever and then he'd be fine. He'd go to sleep. It was very bizarre. It was just a weird week. So that knackered us out. We were very, very tired. So I didn't record then. And then it just kind of carried on. The evenings were too messed up, or one night I moved everything around, another night I moved around the bedroom. So yeah, it's just been kind of one of those fortnights really. But it's good to be back. I do feel like I haven't been I'm saying we've moved lots of stuff around, but I feel like I've not been as productive as I would have dreamt if you'd have told me that I'd be at home for a month. I'd have thought, oh, I'd finish my book, I'd turn the pantry into a sensory room for Ollie, I'd tidy up this, that, and the other. I basically fixed the door. Yesterday, we have a door between our kitchen and our living room. It kept just falling open, especially if there's a light breeze, but it'd fall open on its own. And I just kind of snapped yesterday, opened it up, and just wedged some cardboard behind it all and screwed it back in. You can't see the cardboard, but it's forced this piece of metal out so the door opens and closes nicely, stays in place. I felt like king of the world for achieving that master crafting moment. I mean, I text Claire and she was bloody chuffed. Like, it's been doing her head in for ages, and we'd both assumed we had to do something major with the bigger part of the door. The door that falls open, we thought we were going to have to somehow mess around with the hinges and move it out a bit, and I was thinking we were going to have to somehow thicken it by putting stuff between the two doors. But then I was just walking through it and I thought, it's the lock that's the problem, it's the latch on the other door. I'm just going to have a crack at this, and when I'd done it, I felt like champion of the world. But that is literally as productive as I've been. I haven't finished a sensory room for Ollie. I'm gutted about that. I carried down this massive thing that I showed you last time I did a video, filled it with all the food, moved loads of other stuff out, filled the bin with stuff, and then just looked at what was left and thought, I'll figure that out next week. And it's always been, I'll do it at the weekend, and I've just not done it. So bless him, he's been making do. He has been really good though. In terms of health-wise, I mean, not behaviour-wise, he's behaved perfectly, but health-wise, he's not been ill. He's handling it really well. He's had a couple of moments where he was having a meltdown, but he's kind of got through it quite nicely. The ones that he has had, I've just given him a cuddle and taken him upstairs at this point. And I just feel like after after saying things were really hard and things were going bad and things were difficult, we kind of just got on with it, and it's been really good in that regard. Like, Emily's been helping out. Ben was just ill when we were ill, so in a weird way, it was quite helpful because he wasn't running riot. You knew when he was well, because he started running riot again, he'd be like running out in the garden and hanging off things and jumping off things and whatever. And you'd be like, no, don't do that, and trying to keep up with him. Ollie's just been getting on with his games. He's, he did plenty of learning when school was on, but now school's off. That's made life a lot easier. Dreading that coming back next week. It's just been a weird time. As I say, I thought I would have finished my book. I thought I would have read more, written more, recorded more. What I've been doing with most of my time, and it's probably not a surprise, but I mentioned this on the podcast if you listen to that. I wrote this list. This is actually the third version of this list. This is all the Pokemon I need to complete Pokemon Home, which is an app that they added on to Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's basically an aggregation. There's the DS, there's the Switch, there's Pokemon Go, and there's various other games. And because people collect the Pokemon, they've created this app where you can link them all together and push all your Pokemon into that. And it has the Pokedex in there. And if you fill it, if you have one of every Pokemon registered, you don't have to still own it, you just have it registered. Then they give you a Pokemon as a gift to say, well done, you've completed it. It's like a special edition of a Pokemon. I was reading this about 2 weeks ago and I thought, I've probably got at least half of them if I didn't even try. So I put them in there and it was like I needed 300. I've been tirelessly working through this list and I'm down to my last 43, I think it was. They're mostly legends, but I'm quite pleased with that. I feel like that was just a completely low-key, low effort, well, not low effort, it's quite a big effort, but low, stress, low energy, just challenge. I'm a bit gutted that when I got to about last 60, I realised there's about 10 that are nigh on impossible to get, at least legitimately. I'm hoping, I keep putting feelers out. I'm hoping, for example, that one of you watching might go, do you know what? I actually have some of the ones that were special edition codes. I don't play it anymore, but if you want them off my DS, I'll send them to you, because that'd be perfect. And I feel cheeky asking, but I'm going to ask. You never know. I'll put it out on the podcast and no one come back. I basically just need any of the mythical ones that you only got via codes. Like when the I Choose You film came out a couple of years ago, there was one and I didn't get it and now I need it, and it's like, damn it, I should have planned ahead. I should have known there'd be a pandemic and I'd set myself this impossible task. But because I'm this close to completing it now, I feel like something will click and it'll work. But yeah, that's been keeping me sane between the days of working and watching telly with Claire, and it got really monotonous. We were just watching our Arrowverse programs or whatever. We were watching Better Call Saul, watching Ozark, going to work. We got Disney Plus. We watched so many Disney films the first week that I'm now just I'm sick of singing the songs. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse does my head in. So yeah, I've just been going on that. I dug out Pokemon Ultra Moon and was playing that because a lot of the legends are in that and I can fill out a lot of the decks by trading on that, which is how the only way I can get any of these mythicals is via that. Ollie, bless him, saw me playing it, decided to dig out his copy of the earlier game, Pokemon Sun, and that's probably been the biggest source of our meltdowns in the past week, because his version is the older version, doesn't have all the features in it that mine has, and he is annoyed at me for having the newer version. And I'm like, well, I've been playing this for over a week and you didn't have a problem, and now you've jumped on my bandwagon and now you're annoyed at me. And B, it's not my fault, it's an older game. Like I said to him, when I completed it, you can have this one, you can play it to your heart's content, but while I'm in the middle of this challenge, you ain't touching it, mate. Annoyingly, he's got 3 of the ones I need off this list and will not give them to me, and I cannot make him see reason. I'm not really trying that hard because he's a 7-year-old, but I've said to him, when you're done, can you just send them to me? And he's like, no, they're mine, they're staying on that cartridge forever. And I'm thinking, yeah, but when you're never playing it again, can I not just swipe them off and put them over here? And he's like, no. I said, well, I'll give them back to you in the new game if you like. He's like, no. So he's got this bee in his bonnet. Under no uncertain terms am I allowed to have the 3 that I need, which is really harsh, but I'm sure he'll come round eventually. It's just being mean. Other than that, I don't really know. It's really weird. I've done 10 minutes on basically we did nothing. It's just, we're here for another, 3 weeks at least, they've said now. And I kind of think, I hope that I get a bit more energy and a bit of an idea. That's the problem. It's the same old problem. I've just had no ideas of what to do. I kept thinking I'd do some fun videos. I've got this beer set that Someone sent Kev a while back. It's like make 25 pints of ale, and I got it out the other day. I got it out, read the instructions, and I thought I could do this as a video. This will be great. And then I read the instructions, and it was basically pour 24 pints of lukewarm water into a bag. And I just thought, I'm going to lose count. If I get this jug and just put the pints in there and then pour them in, I'm going to get like 15 pints in and think I'm on pint 14, and I'm just going to get confused. And now I'm just dreading it. I've been thinking about this for about 4 days now. What can I do to sort of prepare 24 pints of lukewarm water that would then allow me to pour them all into this bag in quick succession, and then just do it up and lob it in? And that in itself is not going to be that entertaining a video, because all it's going to be is me pouring water. But I figured I could do it in steps and just show this is how it's getting on. This is the bag, this is the beer, done. It tastes disgusting. I'm pouring it down the drain, job done. Has anyone ever made one of these before? What did you do? Did it taste good? It's a brewery in bag. I think it's an IPA. I can't see. Yeah, pale ale. 25 pints of pale ale. It looks fun. I just, as I say, I don't know how to do the quantities right, and I just can't. I can't imagine. I need someone else to keep count with me, but I figure there's probably also timings, and it just seemed overcomplicated. I figure it might be worth filming just to see it all go wrong, and me have bloody, whatever the beer ingredients all over my floor, and Claire just crucifying me for wrecking the house. But we'll see what happens. I think the biggest challenge we've had while we've been off has been silly things that are out of our control, like our neighbours playing really loud 90s pop music all the frigging time. Like, they've got such bad taste in music, and they will not stop broadcasting it to the entire street. And there's no polite way to tell them to stop. And I feel like if we went over there and said something, it would just create a bigger problem. They were the ones we had to go and ask to pay for the fence, and they didn't want to. And I had to beg Claire to go and ask them again, because I didn't want to make a thing out of it. But they're also the ones that kept mowing my lawn, thinking it was their lawn in our front garden. And I had to go over and say to them, that's not your land. And they were just, I didn't say it like that, but I had to go over and be like, I basically said, are we not cutting the lawn enough? And they said, what are you talking about? And I said, well, you keep cutting that bit. And they were like, oh, I thought it was ours. I said, no, I've checked the deeds and it's actually ours. He was like, oh, keep cutting it if you like. And I said, well, you don't have to. And he was like, I won't. And we just never spoke again. Next time we said hello now and again, but the next time we spoke was when we said to him, the fence has come down. Can you pay half of it? And he said, it's not my fence. And we're like, I've checked the deeds. It is your fence, mate. And he's paid half of it. And I'm just thinking, every time we talk to him, it's just a dispute over land, or in this case, the noisiness of them. Part of me wants them to just carry on playing, because I know I'm not the worst family on the street. We're not the worst people on the street. I don't think we would have been anyway, but knowing they're worse makes me feel a bit better. I don't mind being second worst. Other than that, there is really naught going on. I know that following Kev, he's been talking about how it's really hard to do daily ongoing blogs and vlogs and so forth. I'd like suggestions if people want me to do any kind of specific content. I always wonder about doing Q&As, but just think there'd be a little bit that, I don't know, I don't have the size of following as like Kev, so it'd probably be like me and 4 people just kind of, sitting around in the chat. But yeah, any suggestions, let me know. I will try and think of some things. I'm basically, working at this table sort of 8:30 till 5 every day, and then I just toddle around until bedtime. All the TV shows I watch are pretty much finishing because of the pandemic, so unless it's like the stuff on Netflix, there's not really much to keep us going. It's such a weird time, isn't it? It's like, I've still not got used to it. I'm sort of enjoying spending the time with family. Ben, he's brilliant, like spending time with him so much, because I've never spent this much time with him. At least with the other two, I was a student when they were little, so they got to see me loads, but Ben never really did. He's talking loads now. Like, it's still kind of hard to understand him if you don't know him, but it's so funny, and he just keeps going oi about everything, because I think Emily and Oliver say oi a lot, and he's like oi, he just start putting his toys away. So that's been quite funny, just seeing him develop these little sayings and mannerisms. I think everyone who sees them after the lockdown is going to be really confused. Like, Emily's turned into a teenager, Oliver seems, I mean, I guess it's the fact he's not got stresses on him right now, but he seems to have got a grip on himself quite a bit. I'm hoping that he'll have shown some maturity when he goes back to school. But Ben, everyone's just going to be like, bloody hell, he's grown like a foot overnight. He's basically a man now. But yeah, it's just bizarre. I feel a lot better about being locked in with him. To say, I already said that, but I think the first week I was convinced that was it. Claire was going to have the lockdown lifted and she was going to leg it into the sunset. But I feel like we're a team now. It's made us quite a good unit, which is lovely. So I don't know. I'm hoping that's a good positive from all this mess. I'm really glad we're all better. Emily and Oliver are under quarantine until Thursday, but Claire and I and Ben were free to roam Thursday last just gone. This whole government 7-day thing is a bit concerning, but we felt fine. I was kind of like, we're not knackered anymore. The government says we can go out, so we went out, but Emily and Oliver haven't had any symptoms yet, so they're basically stuck till Thursday. Hopefully they don't get any symptoms. They aren't out of the woods until then, I suppose. They've got 2 more days. They could develop anything at any point or afterwards even, but I am wary of them. Claire started doing couch to 5k and wants Emily to be out of quarantine ASAP so she can join her, which I think is quite cute. They're going to try and do 5k together. But other than that, I mean, I'm not going to do that. I basically walk to the park with Ben, and that's my lot. I take Molly out for a walk. That's my lot. I kind of need a project other than this Pokemon one. I need to finish this Pokemon one, and I think the bubble will have popped, and I'll be open enough to doing it. I should just finish my damn book, but because it's about, well, it's not about a pandemic, but it involves people being sick, I just feel like it's probably not appropriate and I need to just shelve it for a decade or something. But I don't know. Answers on a postcard, thoughts, let me know how you're getting on. Let me know how you're getting on as well, outside of all of this nonsense. I've not heard from you all in ages. It's been weird. But yeah, give me your comments, give me your stories below. And yeah, it'd be good to catch up with you all. I'm going to go now because I do need to help Claire upstairs. I need to put Ben to bed. And then I think we've got Better Call Saul to watch on Netflix, which is awesome. So I'm going to get on and do that. Cheers. See you tomorrow.